good.
Okay.
Oops. Are we ready?
Yeah,
Yes.
whenever you are.
Okay, so my name is Sofia Rodriguez, and my research this summer involved evaluating the influence of household characteristics on water demand. There has been a lot of research focusing on the effects on consumption of things like water efficient technology, price increases, restrictions, weather, household characteristics, and demographics. And while many of these characteristics have been found to be significant in consumption decisions, there is still a lot of variation among households. So more research is needed to investigate how other characteristics might affect consumption. By including the effect of household environmental attitudes on demand, our research fills a gap in knowledge about the relationship between environmental attitudes and household consumption. So we specifically wanted to know, does being environmentally conscious change consumptive behavior? Do environmentally conscious people respond differently to changes in the price of water? And do they respond differently to changes in temperature and precipitation? So in our study, we divided people into environmental or socially motivated conservationists, or altruists, which we call them, and cost-motivated conservationists. And we hypothesized that the environmental motivation to conserve would be related to lower household consumption, all else held equal. So assuming that if everything else remains the same, the only thing that changes is the environmental motivation to conserve. To test our hypothesis that environmental attitudes are related to consumption, we assessed how water use levels change with respect to household characteristics, as reported in a citywide telephone survey. Our study took place in Fort Collins, Colorado, where water is split between commercial and residential uses. But for the purpose of this study, we only focused on residential use. So in Fort Collins, some strategies for conserving water on the residential side of demand have included a program that employs home water efficiency reports, which actually resulted in a decrease in demand of 2.5%, or 25 million gallons a year. An increasing block rate structure, which is designed to discourage use by increasing the price of water as individual household demand enters higher tiers, as well as appliance rebate programs and a home efficiency loan program to finance water conservation projects. So for our methods, we use survey data collected from November 2011 through October 2014, and billing data from 2008 to 2014 that detailed information about participant environmental perspectives, consumer response to price increases, and customer seasonal consumption. And we use different regression models to model specifications to investigate the relationship between these traits and water demand. So our first question was, does being environmentally conscious change consumptive behavior? The top box here shows the average use for a person who conserves for the environment, or an altruist, is 6,771 gallons a month. And the bottom table shows that a person who conserves for cost and convenience, the average use is 8,272 gallons a month. But notice the standard deviations are pretty large, so they're not significantly different, but the average is quite a bit lower. So we assumed that it was true that households that aim to conserve do decrease consumption. So our next question was, do environmentally conscious people respond differently to changes in the price of water and to changes in temperature and precipitation? This table shows the individual effects of these factors like price, temperature, and precipitation for environmentally motivated conservationists and convenience-motivated conservationists. The top three variables are related to people who conserve for the environment. Or the little E and S in parentheses just means environment and socially motivated conservationists. And if you are an altruist, your consumption decreases by 1% in relation to a 1% increase in price. That's the top number. If you are a cost and convenience motivated conservationist, like the bottom three variables that have the C and C in parentheses, an increase in price by 1% will be related to a decrease in consumption by 0.86%. So our results also show that for altruists, if precipitation goes up, water use decreases, as is seen by on the top three variables, that second precip sum number. And if temperature goes up, water use increases. And these results are similar to those for cost and convenience motivated conservationists. So what we found is that the coefficients for each group are not significantly different except for in price. It may be that altruists respond more to price. So we use a different regression model to answer the same question to see if our results carried over. And so in this table, the top three variables also show the mean responses for environment or socially motivated conservationists. The bottom three variables show the difference between environment-motivated and cost-motivated conservationists. So if the interaction, the bottom three, if the interaction term between the two types of conservationists isn't significant, it means the groups aren't different. So for the bottom variables, the only coefficient that is different was price, which was also what we got from the previous model, meaning that altruists don't significantly respond differently to temperature and precipitation, but it is possible they do respond to price. And so what do these results mean for the initial hypothesis? So at the very basic level, we can say that households interested in conservation do decrease consumption. However, the motivations that underlie an individual's conservation, either concern for the environment or cost to the household, those do not play a significant role in residential water demand. So limitations of this study include our identification strategy and sample size. It's possible that explanatory factors we did not include might provide alternative results. And our analysis includes a small sample size of only 121 households. However, there are no identifiable reasons to suggest that missing households are systematically related. So future work, although we did not find a significant difference in consumption between environment-motivated conservationists and convenience-motivated conservationists, more research should be done to replicate the study in different locations to see if maybe a larger sample size, it is shown that environmentally motivated conservationists do conserve for specific reasons. And if people are shown to act differently based on underlying attitudes, this might have implications for how state and local agencies address conservation issues. And that's it.